Alrighty, so what we have here is a, kind of like a how-to, or how I do my cards for my new game, Quest for the Lost Pixel. So what I'm going to show you guys here is how I make my monster cards, and how I make weapon cards, and pretty much all the cards I do. But there's a few different things that I do that I want to show you guys. So really quickly, so I'm working on floor 3 for the monsters here, and in floor 3 we have a lot of different kinds of elementals and a lot of different kinds of spriggans, which are these crazy like nature kind of dudes, which they're pretty cool looking. I kind of like them, but right now I want to work on a new spriggan called the Berserker. So this spriggan Berserker, what we're gonna do is we're gonna open with Adobe Photoshop, and it's gonna pop in here. Now this is a 32 by 32 pixelated bit monster. So in order to enlarge that, I need to go to Image, Image Size. I go from 32 to 400 just to make it bigger. And then it's very important to change this bicubic automatic to nearest neighbor, preserve hard edges. Now I'll show you what it looks like if I just leave it alone. See how it comes out really blurry and it hurts my eyes. So we're gonna go to Image Size 400, preserve hard edges, and there we go. Now we've got our pixelated character, and then what I do is I press V, which gives me this arrow button here, and then I just take my character, I drag him to my monster template, and I just drop him in. And then I'm just going to kind of make him a little bit bigger there. Alright, so there is our Spriggan Berserker. First thing I do, I have all my different lists of different things I have going on down here. It looks complicated, but most of it I don't even use because most of it's the template already. So what we're going to do is we're going to change Spriggan Rider to Spriggan Berserker. Now it doesn't fit obviously, so we're going to have to shrink this down a little bit. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Oh boy, this is going to be a rough one. Alright, so really small this time. Alright, so we got the Spriggan Berserker. So the next thing I want to do is I check my subclass, which is the class right here. All these Spriggans are part of a Savage subclass, so we're going to leave that as it is. I'm going to change the X, or the HP to 11, make him a little harder to kill. Then I want to change the attack number. Now he's a rampager of sorts, so he's going to do 3d6, so that's a lot of damage for a Spriggan Berserker, or for anything in floor 3. So you want to try to keep these more balanced. Alright, so for a lot of defense and maybe not so many different elemental stats, what we're going to do is we're going to wipe away the defense and just put a little dash there. So it's one of those, you want to kill him right away, because if you don't, he's going to hit you, and he's going to hit you hard. So we want to make sure that if he does pop up in the dungeon, that we can try to eliminate him. As I said, I'm not going to do different things with these different elements and elemental defenses, so we're going to leave this as it is, so he's not going to gain any additional stats. Alright, and that's pretty much it. Because he's just a normal monster, his XP is going to remain 1, and he is a monster creature, or a monster card. So we're going to save it, and I save 2 different formats. I have the Photoshop, and that's the Berserker. We have a Photoshop save, and then for Game Crafter, it only takes PNG or PNG file saves. The reason I do 2 different ones is if I make a PNG file and I cancel out of this right now, I can't go back in here and change it. I'd have to redo this all over again. With the Photoshop file, I can go back in here and just do a quick change and then save both files again. So it's really quick and easy. Alrighty, so there is our Spriggan. The next thing I want to show you guys is pretty much how I make weapons. So cool thing with weapons, oh boy, come on now. Cool thing with weapons is you can pretty much make whatever you want. we are working on a floor 3 weapon, so we're gonna make this a really cool weapon for you guys. So we have, ooh, which kind do we want here? Let's see, we'll do this, you know, we'll do this axe. We'll call this the twin blade axe. So again, we want to go into image size, 400, preserve hard edges, hit OK for enter, and then we're going to drag this to the template. Now we're going to make this just a little bit smaller. That's a little too big. And center it up. And like I said, we'll call this the twin blade axe. Smush this just a little bit. There we go. Maybe just -60 there. Perfect. Looks good. Alrighty. So this one, the subclass, obviously this isn't a wand, so I'm going to change this to axe. And the cost, we'll only give it a cost of 1. It's not going to be the greatest, but it's not going to be the worst. So this is going to be used for the fighter or heroes like the fighter. So we'll make it a strength. And we want to give it some really cool attack strength here. So we're going to give it, let's see, 2d6. It's pretty good. It's twin blade, makes sense. And then we'll get rid of any elemental stats for now. And that's pretty much it. The twin blade axe. Giving you one cost of 1. It only costs 1 in the store. But yeah, pretty simple. Same thing. Want to go into save. We want to make a new folder here. And that's pretty much it. So I'll kind of leave off here. I'll just cancel this for now. And I'll show you just a couple of the quick things that I've done so far with this. So I've finished, I think, all of the second floor now. So all of first floor is done. All of the second floor stuff is done. Added a bunch of new artifacts. So you guys have already seen the abyssal staff. We've got the Ethereal crown now, which is awesome, awesome stuff. Crystal armor, the dagger of toxin. We've got the golden sword, the hellfire crossbow, the storm staff, and the ender blade, which is, oh man, this thing's pretty sweet. Not the strongest, it is. I mean, 1d12 is a lot, but I mean, this can go from 1 to 2 to 3. So, I mean, we'll definitely see some awesome stuff here in the future. And then a couple of the newer events that I have. So, obviously, we've already seen Ambush. We got this new one called Cheat, which is pretty cool. It lets you put down 3 dungeon tiles instead of just 1. So, you can put 3 dungeon tiles anywhere that's open, which is really good. I mean, it's a cheat, but I mean, it comes with the name. Let's see. We got the spider web, which if you cannot defeat it through this check, your hero is going to lose 1 turn. And then we have a save point, which pretty much is pretty cool. So pretty much if you you die, you go back to this save point. It's only good for one time, but I mean, if your hero dies, it goes back to the save point fully healed. So that's definitely a really good event if you can get it. But again, this one is probably going to be one of the rarer events that happen. And I think that's pretty much it. I don't want to spoil too much for you guys, but that's pretty much how I make my cards. So if you guys like it, let me know. I am going to be working on the 4th floor next. So if you guys have any suggestions of, you know, what kind of monsters you'd like to see in the 4th floor, let me know. Like I said, right now in the 3rd floor we've got Spriggans and Elementals. So let me know what you guys would like to see in the 4th floor. Other than that, you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching.